Hey, you! Yes, you! If you're looking for something to listen to while working, driving, chilling, exercising, or whatever, then you have come to the right place. I have fun and in depth music conversations with artists and personalities from a wide variety of musical genres, and you're about to listen to one right now. So if you like what you hear, then please be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell for further notifications of my upcoming podcasts. And now, on with the show. My guests for today are this really cool avant-garde progressive metal band called Lotus, whose music has this beautiful cinematic quality that is unrestrained by rules or genres. In fact, you may recognize some of the musicians of Lotus from other projects, like for example, their bassist Robert Alex also plays with the post-rock band As We Keep Searching, their vocalist Aman Virdi currently fronts the almighty Indian heavy metal band Bhayanak Maut, and the entirety of Lotus traces its lineage to an older pioneering progressive metal band from Pune called Noiseware. But it is in Lotus that their collective creativity truly shines and elevates heavy music as an art form, in my opinion. So when Lotus recently performed in Bangalore in lieu of releasing their two most recent singles, Share a Piece and Aspire, I sat down with two of their band members, Siddharth and Robert, at the beautiful Semitonic Studios in Henmore, Bangalore, to talk about a whole host of topics that include the origins of the band, their music and artistry, how Aman joined the band, their philosophy on good music, and so much more. Along with a lot of fun stuff like the early Noiseware days and how much slander the city of Pune seems to get when it comes to live music. So, without further ado, here's me with Lotus. Guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time and energy today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so you've come all the way from Pune to Bangalore. How's the city been treating you so far?
It's good. It's good. We came quite early in the morning, but yeah, we got some good rest. Got to experience some really good weather in Bangalore, and yeah, we've come for jam, and yeah, really excited for tomorrow's show.
But the band has been to Bangalore before a couple of times,
Yeah.
so it's sort of gotten used to the ins and outs of Bangalore the way it is. And I think everybody's had a wonderful time here every time the band has come and visited and performed. So we're always looking forward to the next show.
Fantastic. So I wanted to start off this podcast on a fun note. I just wanted to show you a little something that I think signifies how far some of you have come. So this is a copy of Rolling Stone magazine from 2011, and in it you have the review of the first Noiseware EP.
Wow.
Wow, man, this brings me back, dude.
This is like what, 2011, I think, around that time?
Yeah,
This is a 2011 issue. Yeah. Too good, man.
Lovely.
A blast from the past.
Do you remember getting a copy of this?
I do. I have a copy of this at home, lying in one of my crates.
Yeah, man.
Too
I
good.
think Noiseware is definitely has been one of our, you can say one of the main bands of back in the day when we were just getting, at least some of us are getting musically into metal and heavier forms of music. I think Noiseware was one of those very path-breaking bands. And
It was a fun time.
it was epic, and it was just I don't know, we were just fortunate to hang out or just get in touch with each other.
Sid has actually been around for a lot of. I mean, he's seen the band grow from the time.
Yeah.
Not from the time it started, but probably a couple of years into the band, getting onto the performing circuit, and around the time we released this EP, Wake Up
Yeah.
and Soar, around 2011, me and Sid pretty much got to know each other around that time, or just maybe a year or two after.
Yeah.
But since then, he has seen the band grow through all of its phases. All the projects that I've been a part of, he has in some way or the other indirectly been a part
Yeah,
of.
I mean, but definitely for me personally as a musician, growing up and kind of learning more and more music and just discovering myself, I think Noiseware was definitely one of, you could say, the template, or
But that's crazy.
The
I
band-
don't know how you found that.
yeah, man, it's
I used to collect not only Rolling Stone magazine, but Metal Hammer magazine back in the day. I remember in my college days, I would go to those secondhand bookstores where they were selling like older copies of those magazines for cheaper, and I would collect so many of them. I have like a huge stack of them going back more than 10 years. And I think if I leaf through all of them, I will find like reviews and articles for basically every band that we know in
Nice.
India. So I just rifled through my collection. I thought I would.
It's like a small little archive of our Indian metal music culture.
Yes, exactly. You know. So okay, let's get back to the present now. Aspire, the new single, and Share a Piece, the single that came before that. Listening to the music and especially looking at the video, one or more of you must be sick and tired with your jobs, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's all a part of being balancing so many things in and around your life,
Yeah.
and definitely being in touch with music, being in touch with creating the stuff that we do. It definitely helps to get some sort of an inspiration, some sort of an expression. And I mean, I wouldn't say we're sick of our jobs, but definitely we all go through so many experiences and we got so many responsibilities to balance.
I'll put it this way, like the job or showcasing that as part of the video was the easiest way to communicate the message. But the message is mostly, and this I'm sure almost everybody will be able to relate to, whether it's the job you're doing, whether it's the relationship you're in, whether it's the life you're living with family, with your friends. There are moments where it feels automated, where it's on like a loop that you're not able to get out of. Sometimes it feels like it's stagnating, sometimes it feels prolonged. So, and yeah, the job was just the best way we could showcase it for a way that everybody is able to get it. But that's the general message. It's trying to get out of a loop that you're in. A tendency that we all tend to get to from time to time.
Right, so we're keeping that inner child or that rebel, whatever. Like as cliche it may sound, as cliche it might sound, but it's important to keep that spark alive. You shouldn't let it go. I think that's also why I think we as artists and whatever music we've been making, it's a commitment.
Right.
And just finding the time and the means to do it, and luckily having such a good ecosystem and building that entire framework and having the kind of support mechanism with our own band members and with everyone who really loves the music. It really does help, does motivate us to express more.
Yeah.
Did you get everything that you wanted to like put into the song in the video about like corporatism and the rat race, or is there something that you wanted to add that you somehow couldn't add?
I think the entire visualization for the songs came about very, very naturally. It was just so we got the opportunity to work with a gentleman by the name of Chinmay Parkar. He's also part of a band, really great band called Conic Cafe Chronicles. Got to play with them a few times, and we kind of developed a good friendship over time. And he does animation for a lot of other bands. Some cool work he's done. So we sent the songs to him and figured that what would you kind of visualize, and we kind of brainstormed on ideas, and we felt that eventually somewhere that relatability has to be there. Like all of us coming into our 30s and just doing so many things in life and just kind of pressed for time for everything. But we gotta make and kind of find that balance and make time for something that you want to commit to. So I think that was that entire idea of something being very easy to relate. That was the entire visual aspect, which we thought would be best for the music. Something that could touch a nerve. That was like.
And I think a lot of the aspects of not just Aspire but Share a Piece also, they weren't predetermined, in the sense after Chinmay agreed to get on board, after the work had started, that's when a lot of the ideas actually fell into place. Like there was no plan to try and keep the same visual theme even for Aspire as we did with Share a Piece. It was not intended to be like a continuation of a similar theme. That is something that just happened in conversations while running ideas off each other. And yeah, it's just a lot of times, this is something we've observed in our music as well. A lot of the ideas tend to happen on the spot when you're recording. Even though we pre-plan how we want the arrangement to be, how we want the song to move, how we want the general dynamics of the song to be. A lot of the key insights actually come when we are recording. Like maybe this could sound good, and that ends up being on the final master. So it's just one of those things that comes into play with something creative. Some of the ideas are very spontaneous. So yeah, a lot of what happened with both the music videos happened because of the interaction we had with Chinmay.
Yeah, and I get the feeling that, those sorts of concepts are like more relatable, because I say this to a lot of people. All the big scary metal guys that you see on stage are really like avam guys who are like graphic designers and
Big
software
fluffy
engineers.
bears.
Yeah, big fluffy bears, exactly. So, but yeah, anyway, so let's rewind back to the beginning. Tell us about the origins of Lotus. How did Lotus begin?
Lotus primarily just started as the both of us.
Yeah.
Back when I used to perform with my band Noiseware, with Aman in the band, um, I got to know Siddharth around that time. We would just hang out after performances, we had a lot of shared musical interests, and we wanted to just make music together with no set uh, idea of what that music should be, as long as we knew each other's tastes or what the other person leans towards in terms of um, creativity, what their needle automatically points towards. And we started writing music together. A lot of it leaned towards the progressive, heavy side. So we wrote a lot of instrumental music together, released some of it as singles or guitar playthroughs over the initial years. But we never had any intention of taking it to a live stage. I think we tried for a while, but then eventually we decided to keep it, at least in the initial days, as just a studio project. Fast forward to 2025, we are now a 5-piece act with Aman on vocals and Shubhrayu on bass and Abhishek on drums, and
Yeah.
it's been an exciting journey.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
pleasure to have such fine gentlemen and some of the best musicians we know. Like,
And very, very close friends.
yeah, and very close friends.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, when I listen to the music, it really feels, even though the music can be construed as like modern by whoever is like writing about it or critiquing it, to me, it feels like a throwback to like the early and mid 2010s of all of these, like, modern metal bands and like gent bands. Whereas today, a lot of it is like sort of like new metal influenced. So it kind of gave me that particular vibe. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not like that is what the intent was. We are heavily inspired by um, a lot of gent artists, of modern rock, modern metal.
Yeah.
A lot of those artists we each of them listen to them a lot personally. But with writing music for Lotus, it's never like that was the intent. But naturally, a lot of your influences do end up showing up in your music. So I can see why that would be relatable. Yeah.
I think in the time span of knowing Bob, we've shared so much of different phases of music, like probably listening from like extreme death metal to maybe
To prog, to
prog,
modern, to just basic rock, to R&B,
to
everything.
R&B, to like just electronic music, just all over the floor. I mean, and I think over time, as like at least for us musically, we've kind of been like sponges. We felt like it's not. It's just good to improve your overall perspective and just try to absorb as much of sound as you can.
But I think that's how it works, right? Like over the years, I've always looked to you and my immediate friend circle to refresh my musical tastes, like as to what are you guys listening to now?
Yeah.
Because I know that if you like it, I would like it.
Yeah.
It's sort of how that tends to work, at least for me personally. So throughout the years, my musical catalog has been severely influenced by you guys. So, and I'm pretty sure that
man,
works
likewise,
both ways.
Likewise, I think just sharing music amongst the band and just
It helps maintain that palette.
yeah, it helps maintain
Yeah.
that palette. Not only just it helps not only helps keep that creative spark alive. It also kind of helps us, as musicians, that you want to like you get that one melody or tune that you hear, and you just feel like you want to create that, or kind of like, for example, it could be something like some very weird random sound, like a Teams meeting, that ringtone which beeps,
Really?
something like that could bring about a spark, maybe like a couple of notes, and what can you make from that? And yeah, I think that's those kind of challenges, like I love kind of those kind of challenges, and just kind of making something new from something fresh, but at the same time, ensuring that it's all within the whole spectrum of Lotus, which is
You're using your everything you've taken from the music you've heard, you're using that as your basic mold, and create something fresh at the same time.
Yeah, man. And we don't even like care about genre at this point. Like, you can
in fact, all the material that's going to be coming out next year is going to be a mix of everything I think we've heard over the last 15
it's
years.
like all over the place. So enjoy.
What is the craziest idea someone has brought into a jam room for a song? Is there any instance like that?
I think our writing process has been very like
we're not I wouldn't say we are a jam band. In the sense, it's not like we come to the jam room to make music. It's more like we come to the jam room to work on the music that has been made. I mean, he is the primary driver for the musical aspect of Lotus. A lot of the ideas stem from Siddharth, and we build off each other in terms of the songwriting. Whatever we work on, Shubhrayu and Abhishek add to that, and vice versa. We always try and complement each other. I think I got sidetracked from the question.
Yeah, we're not a jam band.
Yeah, we're not a jam band. A lot of it ends up being predetermined, and the idea of coming to the jam room is to try and see how we can improve on that.
Yeah, but since we have band members who've been already, who are and have been part of such epic bands, it's like a running thing that we want to like learn each other's like songs, like, and just see what happens, like, just to like get I can probably play like a really like a heavy song or something which is like like a very death metal or tech death, so can we do something like that? Why not? But that's just something to throw a curveball at each other, and just kind of
trying something new just to refresh your own
and not get stuck in a sound or in a particular way, that that's not something, maybe that's not how a lot of artists or bands view or approach songwriting, but I don't know, that this is the best way we feel comfortable about it. Our writing process has been very, since we all of us are kind of all over the place, most of us are in Pune, Bob is in Bangalore, keep traveling, so it's important to kind of keep recording our stuff. I think that's something that we've learned over the years. So record until you get something good, and then take each other's inputs. Today's age, technology and everything is so like gone to the next level. So, but yeah, I think that's being a jam band or like jamming with the band and coming up with stuff is something we definitely do want to like explore.
Yeah, and technology definitely comes in handy because this whole band is like post-pandemic, if I'm not wrong, right?
The live aspect of this band has pretty much started post-pandemic. We started working on an album with vocals just on the onset of COVID. And I think 2021 or 22.
We released it in 21, and I think the lockdown happened then.
Yeah.
I mean, that was again a curveball, but then again there was like an opportunity to learn and kind of just like,
I mean, you ask any musician in India which band has led a life without curveballs. It's just part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, so tell us about the creation of the Emergence EP and the Dear Diary album after that. So how did the music come about?
Emergence was at a time where we were trying to figure out what would be the sound of Lotus. In the sense, pre-emergence, again, it was just me and Siddharth, and a lot of the music was more towards the heavier side. We wanted to try something a little different because of the kind of music we were listening to at the time.
Yeah.
And we started writing music that is a little more slower, a lot of post-rock influence, because that is what one of the genres that we had explored
Yeah.
freshly around that time, and started pulling in a lot of post-rock psychedelic influences into our music. And it was because it was the two of us, it's instrumental music. It was an open book. We didn't really try and put any definitions that this is how we want to sound like or this is how we don't want to sound like. It was none of that. It was whatever came naturally while recording. And most of the music was written, I think, while recording with Shubham at his place.
Yeah.
A lot of the ideas were written while, like, we would think of an idea at home, go to his place, record that, and then probably spend an hour or two
Yeah.
improving that idea. That's how a lot of the songs ended up taking shape.
Yeah.
And around that time, we met Colin and collaborated with him on Dear Diary.
On Dear Diary.
So that is how Dear Diary came about. Just Emergence had just released, and we ended up meeting Colin. He wanted to try out vocals for some of the songs, and we worked together on an album and made a pretty cool album in the process.
Yeah, something we're proud of.
Yeah, and another thing I think you should be proud of is the music video for Don't Feel a Thing, because it is one of the most beautiful music videos I have ever seen, and I'm saying this 100%. And especially the colored portion, because the first portion is in black and white and the second portion is in color. The colors are so like rich and vivid, and I was
while
like,
being very
entranced.
natural. Yeah,
Exactly, and I was like entranced by the entire thing. So tell me the entire journey of like making that video, and if you have any like interesting behind the scenes stories from that video also.
I think that was a time I think Bob was living in Goa, and he was living on an island called Diwar Island, a scenic, beautiful place. And we were thinking of, when I think the Dear Diary album was just about to be complete, we were thinking of the next release, or what's our first release going to be like. So Don't Feel a Thing was that single, and Bob was like, just come to Goa, we'll
in fact,
shoot an entire music video here. So we were like, cool. So we collaborated with, again, a long-time collaborator of ours, Kaushik Sinha. And I think he was the driving force behind the entire creative aspect of
one-man army.
He's a one-man army.
It was literally shot by one guy.
Yeah,
the entire one guy
with the,
from the start till the end. It was just Kaushik.
Yeah.
One camera, one person running around from side to side, and it was fun because we weren't entirely sure about the permissions, because you're shooting in public spaces. We tried looking up online, but then we are getting all sorts of mixed information. So we're like, okay, let's wing it and see. If we get into trouble, then we'll deal with it then.
Yeah, shoot first, ask questions later.
First, ask questions later, exactly. So we came with a plan in place that we're going to be shooting over X amount of days, X time on each day. And obviously, as much as you plan, there are things that go out of control. But despite everything, despite us forgetting some equipment, having to rent some equipment because something got left back or whatever, despite all of that, we shot pieces of footage in different spots, and like the pretty much the first half of the video shot in fields. That fields was at the backyard of my house on that island. It was literally like some 300 meters away from where I lived. We had no idea that is going to look good. We were just like, let's shoot and see. And we were like, Kaushik, bro, it's your job. Make us look good, bro. It's up to you. So he did a few test runs. I think the first day was just doing test shots to see what looked good to him. and we scouted a bunch of different locations, a couple of different beaches.
Yeah.
And day 2 and day 3 was where everything was on a schedule. Everything was, this is what we need to get in the first half of the day, second half of the day, this is what we need to get. So we kept shuttling. We had three vehicles
Yeah.
that were going up and down from the middle of Goa to the north of Goa to the south of Goa over 2 days, sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning, waking up
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Just to get sunrise shots, sunset shots.
Yeah.
Just doing,
It is just
we-
one of those things. And after the video
carrying
was
a drum
shot,
kit everywhere.
yeah,
Installing the drum kit in
he
a
bought the
field.
drum kit all the way from
Yeah,
Pune, right?
Abhishek bought the entire drum kit from Pune. We
Yeah.
were assembling it, and I think at one point he was playing one of the songs, and like his drumstick broke or something. We didn't have. We just gave him like a tree. Like a
Oh my god, I was just about to say you could have picked up a twig from the beach and like given it to him.
Kaushik made that look so good.
And
I mean,
many different things. Like
Yeah.
one of the biggest challenges was in the ending, the colored section.
Yeah.
We are performing on a beach, right? And that is
Yeah.
where the entire band is on the screen together.
Yeah.
The main challenge was getting everybody to listen to the audio,
yeah,
because you have to play up to the song, right? We had a small Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
Now the problem is when Abhishek starts playing the drums, that's how much ever you pump the volume into that speaker, it drowns out. So which is why in the video, if you see, Colin has a small little Bluetooth headphone on the side of one ear, where he's listening to the track playing at once, and the rest of the band is listening to the track playing somewhere else. But we are actually using Colin as a cue to know where we are in the song.
Yeah.
So he's singing really loud to come above the drums, and we are using, okay, that's where we are. That's is the part we need to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It was a
Good learning experience.
For me, it was the moment we shot, the moment we were done shooting.
Yeah.
For the next 3 months, we had no idea of how the video is going to
We
turn
had
out.
zero idea.
And every time we would call Kaushik or reach out to him and ask him how's the video coming,
He's like, it's cooking.
It's
cooking.
happening. I need some
It's
time.
cooking.
It's cooking. And then once we saw the final edit, we were like, I don't know how you did it, man. This is not how we expected it to be, but it's 10 grades better. Yeah.
Working with someone like Kaushik, working with people like Shubham is definitely like, we've learned so much about,
Yeah.
the art, whatever, just making music, videos, or so many things. And it's also taught us to be more resourceful. I think that's something which,
And once you find
Yeah.
people who you see value in and you
Yeah.
keep working with them, that interest is there to actually make something where the videographer is interested in making it look good,
absolutely.
and they come up with ideas themselves. That's the same experience we had with Chenmai. It's the same experience we've had with Shubham. It's about finding that team of people who
Yeah.
are very cohesive.
Yeah, exactly. When everyone's on the same level of enthusiasm about the common goal, instead of just getting a gun for hire who may or may not
For
work
one
out
project or something. Yeah.
And by the way, this is a shout out to all the Lotus fans. Take a screenshot if you find it of Colin having the Bluetooth earphones in and send it to us. I really want to see this because I didn't see it. This is the first time
You'll spot it.
hearing
Now
of this.
when you look for it is where you'll actually spot it. You'll see, notice a small little, and there's a blue light blinking out of it from the side.
Okay. Let's get into your vocalist change after Dear Diary, meaning that your Noiseware brother Aman getting into the band. So tell us how Aman got into the band.
So we wrote Dear Diary. We performed in, I think, Pune, Bangalore, Guwahati, Shillong. These were the 4 cities where we primarily promoted the album. And that happened over the course of a year.
Yeah.
And obviously through that year, we were writing new music. But as the new music came out, we weren't able to align with Colin on the direction that the newer material or the album should take. So it just made sense to part ways. I mean, there's no bad blood or anything of that sort. It's just that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've realized this with X amount of bands that I've played with over the years. It maintains that value for that one collaboration that we had.
Yeah.
And you're able to look at it with extreme fondness. It's only when you try to overcomplicate a matter where you try to force work out of somebody else, where that is where the tendency for friction tends to happen.
Right.
So
Yeah.
things worked out for the best is what I would think.
Yeah, I think Colin being a great singer, very talented vocalist, we made a great album together, as even Robert actually said it so nicely, and he said it in the best way possible. I think being in a band is definitely not an easy task. It's two, three, four, five people, how many other people, balancing and having everyone on the same expectations is a very big task. I would say that, and it involves a lot of learning and unlearning and kind of finding a way and balance to work with each other. And that's something over time people either get with it, or sometimes things don't align the best way possible. But yeah, thankfully, we were at this point where we parted with Colin, and we had a show last year in May, and we just happened to be the one of the bands opening for God is an Astronaut, and we didn't have a vocalist at the time, and we were like, how do we do this? And it was just a phone call away, because Aman has been a very close friend of ours, and we just like.
And there has been interest
Yeah.
to work together on not necessarily Lotus material,
Yeah,
but like
there was always that.
on something together. There have always been talks of working with Aman through the years, and this just seemed like the perfect reason to get into it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's just been a crazy ride ever since
It was
then.
just a phone call, and Aman was like, "Yeah, let's do this. Let's do the show, and let's take it up from
Let's
there."
see where it goes.
And I think from there onwards, there was a journey. I mean, it's still like an ongoing journey for us. Slowly and slowly, like we have been writing so much of new music now, and with Aman into the fray, and it's become very cohesive, and there's a lot of exploration that we're doing, and our sound is also changing, and we're at the same time, kind of balancing the whole Dear Diary part as well, since that is a major chunk of our set list at the moment. But eventually, yeah, I think Lotus is now a new band, you can say, and this is a different iteration, but it's something like very exciting, and we're really proud of it. And yeah, I mean, let's see how it goes from there.
Okay. What dimension does Aman add to the band that you haven't had before him, in your opinion?
It's the way he approaches his vocals.
Yeah.
It's his ability to not just his ability to sing and growl, but his tendency for the choice of musical composition, or the way his brain is able to, how do I put this?
Approach, or just
Perceive of what is our definition of taste, right?
Mhm.
Like your taste is not exactly the same as mine, even though it matches quite a lot, right? There is something unique about Aman's mental palette or mental taste,
Yeah.
that he's the kind of melodies he chooses, the kind of phrasing he chooses, the way he chooses to execute his vocals, it feels very cohesive with what we are trying to do.
Yeah.
At least with all the newer material that we're working on, that is becoming more and more evident.
It's been a very natural process. It's not, at no point of time was it like things not working out, or things feeling like they're
or
forced
having
in any way.
to overtly tweak
Yeah.
something to accommodate.
Absolutely.
It's not felt like that at all.
I think Aman comes from such a wide, such a rich background of so many bands that he's been in and still a part of, and I think his dimension coming in as a singer, and uh, the range and that he comes with, and his uniqueness is just something I feel like it's a very refreshing as well as a very natural. It feels right for Lotus, and it's something that it was just so naturally it played off, and yeah, things slowly, we've got already 2 songs out, and we're recording a whole lot more of music with Aman, and it's really exciting to see. where we're gonna go.
As we get
Yeah,
older and older,
yeah,
you notice how it gets more and more difficult to be excited about things.
exactly.
And we are super excited about this next album. So, I mean, come to think of it, over a decade, having done things, you're making music, you're making a lot of different songs. After a while, it'll be like, huh, Tika, you've done this, man. There's nothing new
Yeah, man.
about it. But this current lineup with Aman and Shubriyu and Mujum, the live setup we have right now is feeling very exciting, and it is. I can definitely make out, at least from the demos that we are making, that it's very exciting.
Even Shubrayu being part of the band was very natural and a very like, you were like, bro, where were you all this time?
Yeah,
It
why
was
didn't
like,
we do this earlier?
Like,
Yeah.
why didn't we even think of this? Both with Aman and Shubrayu, like, you literally like you
It
guys there
happened
all
at
along.
the right
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
literally you have everything that you've needed. Like, but yeah, even with Shubrayu being in the band, like it kind of creates that perfect fit into Lotus, because uh, he holding the bass and the low end, being the technical and amazing player he is, it just kind of holds it in such a brilliant way, so that because we initially started out as just dual guitars, and I think the first iteration of Lotus was,
though in Dear Diary it was you on guitars, me on bass.
so we had to kind of like make do with
Shuffle
situations
duties,
like, what do we do when you're playing a show? So Bob would be like, "Chal, I'll do the bass parts, you do the guitars." But this gives us such a fresh dimension, and uh, literally both of us coming back, we've gone back into the drawing room, and we're like, dude, like, we've now recording music like how we used to record back in the day. But now that we are both approaching music as like, as two guitars, so that's also been a very
exciting aspect.
It's been a very natural and a very kind of a cool way of things coming around, but it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. And speaking of Aman's time with other bands, as fans, you tell me, what do you think of the music Aman's making with the legendary Bhayanak Maut?
I mean,
Amazing,
there's
man.
no question about it. It's very, very it's very exciting, something that we keep looking forward to. We hope to see more and more of Bhayanak Maut, not just in
Absolutely.
terms of music, but performances. Just really, really proud that we get to have Aman from Bhayanak Maut with us.
It's a privilege, and it's just a pleasure to work with an artist who's just like, who comes with such a from so many things, and coming into Lotus, it's very cool, I would say.
And more than anything, it is the Aman you see with Bhayanak Maut is not the same as you would see with Lotus.
Absolutely not.
You get to see a
it's
very
flip
different
switch.
side of him.
It's a flip switch. It's something. It's not the same at all. Absolutely, it's a very different.
And that
side
kind of
Aman.
speaks to his versatility.
Yeah.
His ability to change or bring what is needed for the music and for the performance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Very exciting.
By the way, you're saying all this and Aman is like in the next room just busy with your jam recordings. He's not going to know a lick of what you said until this podcast comes out. So I'm sure there's going to be a very...
He's going to think we are ripping him a new one over here.
For all he knows, you're saying that he's like the worst vocalist in the world. And hey, yeah, how the fuck did we get stuck with him and all? No, but anyway, so these guys love you, Aman. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think he knows that deep down, even though we may not ever say it to him directly.
Okay. So, in your personal philosophy, or even in your opinion within your chosen genre, what makes a song great? How does a song go from good to great, and what does it take to make it that way?
That is a question I've been asking myself ever since I started making music.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I never knew. It's like, when I started to play guitar and I knew that I wanted to make music and not just ape some other guitar player. Obviously, one of the first questions you ask yourself is, what makes good music? And over probably 15 years of just making music with my closest friends, I've realized it's not as difficult as I was building it in my head. There are no set metrics that define a good song. At the end of the day, it is just, are you enjoying listening to what you're making? If you enjoy it, and if you're able to get your bandmate to enjoy it, that is how I view our music making process. He is my soundboard, right? I run all my ideas of him. If I'm able to impress him, I know I'll be able to impress a crowd. That is the way we approach our music, generally. Yeah.
Even I don't have a fixed answer, bro, to what makes a song great. It can be a trashy song, but if it's still stuck in your head, it's a great song. It's not left your head. So there's so many angles, so many perspectives to what makes a song great.
But to us, it's as simple as maza aa raha hai ki nahi?
Yeah.
Maza aa raha hai. Good.
वो
We're
मजा आना
enjoying
चाहिए.
it.
I think I saw in some interview, this was I'm probably quoting somebody else, quoting the great Stephen Carpenter from Deftones. Like he talked about this, like if a song makes your ass jiggle or whatever, like in a live show, then the song is great. Like the moment you move your butt, it's like that song is good.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna look for some ass jiggling in tomorrow's Bangalore show.
Better.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, that'll be really fun. Okay, and as we all know, if you're in the scene, or you may not know if you're not in the scene, being an independent musician without being employed is virtually impossible, unless you're a bloody wood or at the level of a bloody wood. So if anyone out there is thinking of starting their own band, what would be your advice to them in terms of how to do that sort of work life balance and make time for the music? Because making time for that music, if your work life exhausts you, it impacts the mood you're in when you're making the music. So what would be your advice to those folks just starting out, and how to make time to make that music that they want to put out so much?
I think for a musician just like starting out, I think, or even thinking that, I think the very most key question is, what do you want to achieve as a musician? Is it something that's monetary? Is it something that you want recognition? Is it something that or is it something where you make the music in a way that you relate to, you really like it? And because as you rightly said it, it's definitely not an easy task to uh, be a full-time musician. But yeah, it's if one goes down that path, I think there's definitely there's a whole other side to it.
I mean, my perspective is, if you manage to do it, there is nothing like it.
Yeah.
But in our country, it is close to impossible to survive entirely on music.
Yeah.
But I would say, just make out the time, do as much as you can, and take it as it goes. It hardly ever helps having unrealistic expectations to begin with. Understand, speak to other artists that are around, artists who are doing this regularly. You will get a lot of perspective in just communicating with other people, and you will get a sense of how things work, how things run. And eventually you realize that it's up to whether you want to keep doing it or not. And as long as most bands today who are continuing to do it, who are not making, where this is not your primary driver for your finances, the only reason they keep doing it is because they want to. And
Absolutely.
At some point or the other, it clicks from a business perspective or not. So it's all about how long you have the resilience to do this, to try and find a way to make it work, to try and find a way to reach newer people. That has been our entire process for the past 10 years. It is just a constant, let's just do it and see where it goes.
I think a very key lesson that we've also learned as musicians, or as going into Lotus, or say doing a tour, or doing shows, or like putting out a single or an album. We've learned a little bit. You definitely have a long way to go, but I think what we've learned is definitely be resourceful, make wise decisions with your resources, and take risks knowingly. Like that's something that that's a very big thing, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't have the wrong expectations going into this, and you need to have the right mindset that this is what can happen. This is the absolute worst that will happen, and you need to be ready for that.
Yeah, take risks that are
Calculated.
practical and reasonable.
Practical.
Like, for example, um, a general topic of discussion is whether artists should perform for free.
Yeah.
That is a risk a band or an artist has to take at some point in their career, right? To choose whether to perform with no monetary, with nothing coming back to you, but with the hope that it is going to work at some level or the other in the future. But now that is a risk that is calculated, that is thought out, that any band can afford to do. But for a person who is planning to quit his job and move into music full time, that is a risk that you need to think 100 times more. So weigh your risks, weigh your options, and try and find an approach that you are able to sustain for the longest time.
And also, a very key thing is finding the right people who not only who are part of your band or part of your ecosystem, but having other bands in general who are willing to take that risk with you. Say going into a tour, having say a couple of bands or 2-3 bands going on tour, and knowing that they're willing to take that risk. Yes, once that drive is there, then there are many ways to make it happen. Like, for example, when you're doing was what we've learned in the last tour we did in May with Gutslit. We did 3 cities, but at the same time, we kind of figured out how to be resourceful with everything. Book your flights, like, in a way that, we booked our flights from, say, Pune to Bangalore, and we had a show from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and then back. So we just booked a 2-way ticket, basically, from Pune to Bangalore and Hyderabad to Pune. We took a train from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and it was a lovely experience. At the same time, we figured out, what would be the best way to ensure that, you can control your liabilities, and kind of ensure that, say you're going to a tour, you can manage everything. So I think that's also a very key thing, which a lot of artists get into it. They don't kind of explore all these angles, and then they kind of have the wrong expectations, and they get kind of demotivated by it. That's a part of the process. Demotivation is constant, and there is no end to it, but you don't need to be deterred by it. There's always a wiser choice.
Exactly. The biggest challenge is that a lot of these roadblocks come to you within the first couple of years of you functioning, and it's up to whether you're able to stay resilient beyond that or not. Whether you're able to continue from year 3 onwards, year 4 onwards.
And last thing for an artist, I would say, very, like, at least we are also striving to do that, is definitely, like, focus on your music, and build in whatever, I think, in a natural way.
Don't chase perfectionism. That is one thing that we have realized. Rather, it took us a while to realize this, because during our initial days, that is one drawback we had with writing our music, with coming up with our recordings. We would waste a lot of time chasing perfectionism, which would delay the entire process a lot. And to the extent where sometimes you're like, okay, maybe what we've recorded, we're not vibing with it right now. So
don't get sick of your own music.
You don't get sick of your own music.
That's also and that's a very big problem. I think so many musicians I know personally, who are friends of mine, they write such epic music, but then they get so, like, they kind of don't understand what they want from the song, but it sounds so good, but they're not released it yet. So,
and once you go like a period of 3 years without releasing anything, after your 3rd year, whatever you've made, you'll start getting sick of it.
You got to start, and then again coming into it, then going in from scratch, and then putting out something, and then building your entire following.
Your resilience drops after a while.
Man.
Motivation, So it's all about trying to keep that excited as much as possible.
Focus on your music. I think focus on your music, and you will, like, people will listen to your music eventually. And whoever does, I think it's important to ensure that you are creating that kind of a loyal fan base, and kind of, you need to, like, why would somebody invest time to listen to your song? End of the day, there has to be a reason. There has to be some sort of a relatability. There has to be something, what you feel from the song, that song your listener should also feel, and that is a great song. Again, I think coming back to the previous question, that's what makes a song a great song. I think I answered a different question in another question.
Lovely, lovely. Now, my next question is a bit Pune centric because I don't know if you've seen previous episodes of the podcast, but there has been a lot of Pune slander in them lately where, Abbas from Godless and, the guys in Bego were like straight out like talking shit about how Pune sucks when it comes to the quality of live music, and how the sound is over there. So, like, give me some idea what's going on, and are things getting better in Pune? Like, do you have any idea?
So I have been out of Pune for about 5 years now. But up until 5 years ago, yeah, that I would definitely agree with that. Pune has faced a huge issue with venues in general.
Yeah.
Like, there are probably 2 venues at the moment that have been there for the last 10 years. Those are the only 2 viable performance outlets in Pune at the moment.
Yeah.
One of them is High Spirits, and I think the other is
Antisocial.
Antisocial.
Yeah.
Apart from this, can you think of any others that
Swig
think
is there. Swig is there, but it's
But
more
that's
of an
not a-
intimate scene. more.
that's a singer-songwriter type of setup,
Well,
right?
they do have artists like bands and all coming in, like, but more like, I think, an intimate setup. I think the space is
But
a little smaller.
sound has always been
Yeah.
a challenge.
I agree to that.
The crowd in Pune has always been a challenge. Like, people from the outskirts would very rarely come internal to the city for
Yeah.
performances, and vice versa. People from the internal parts of the city would very rarely go to the outskirts for performances. So it's Russian roulette. When you're performing, you're just hoping that people turn up. Some days it's a good event. Some days you're like, why did we even do this?
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Well,
is just
things
one
are
of those
improving
things.
in Pune. I can say that for sure. I think there's definitely the last show we did at High Spirits was, I felt it was,
Yeah, it was a fun show.
it was a fun show. Like, I mean, it again depends on your engineer, who knows the venue, and how everything is. And I think a live show in general is so many factors, but it is improving, at least per our experience. And yeah, I think a lot of bands are coming down to Pune on the regular. More and more acts are playing. So I would say there is an improvement, definitely. I think some of our friends are, definitely pushing that whole metal and hard rock scene in Pune also. Like, to
But
shout out to them.
if you were to compare it to like a Delhi or a Bangalore or Hyderabad or Kolkata, for that matter, I think Pune still has a ways to go in terms of its independent music and performance.
I think that entire era of, like, the 2010s, that
Yeah, it was alive at one point.
Yeah, it was peaking at that time. Like, I think that we had,
in the
like,
late 2000s, early 2010s.
remember the Hammerfest days,
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
those epic.
We had beautiful venues, like
GIR.
really, really grungy looking venues that you could.
Great Indian Rock days.
Yeah.
We had like some mad shows back in the day, even NH7 for that
The
matter.
DJs came and screwed it up for all of us, I think.
Yeah, man. But then again, I think a lot of people have moved out from Pune.
That too.
And
I mean, it is at the end of the day
Yeah.
a student-oriented city, so it's a crowd that keeps shuffling
It's a
every
rotating
4
crowd.
years. Yeah,
and I think there's a whole new surgence of like the younger generations, and like they're into like a whole different wave of music. And yeah, I mean, end of the day, it's all about listener tastes. Like, I've seen shows at, say, High Spirits with like a few singer songwriters, or like a few of these new up and coming hip hop artists. Like, they've like 400 plus turnout, 400 500 plus turnout at High Spirits. Like, and it's definitely great for that. And I think it's all about listener interests. What kind of music are they vibing with? And there are a lot of new and upcoming bands who are trying to change that whole break the whole uh, mirror or that whole thing that this is that whole metal scene.
This is
and
how it's done.
this is going to be a standard 2-3 band lineup. I think that's still happening, but I think that's definitely what's needs to be changed over time. And there are bands who are actively like getting into that scene and trying to give a whole new different meaning with modern metal and just like
Trying to bring
incorporating different
something
styles.
new to the
Yeah,
table.
and incorporating different styles. That's what even we end up learning as a lesson. Don't stick to a sound forever. Like otherwise you will be irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. And I genuinely hope things are getting better in Pune because I personally don't want another Pune pipe bomb on this podcast.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Pune is getting better.
Good.
We hope.
Okay, so what's next on the cards for Lotus?
New music. Hopefully, we'll get to perform in a few more cities this year that we haven't gotten the opportunity to perform in. That is what we are working towards. That and a new album, hopefully, is what 2026 is primarily looking for. Yeah.
There's a lot of action happening behind the scenes. Big things coming. So like
Wonderful. So before we conclude this podcast, I'd like to play a little game with you guys. It's called Trivia Time. I'm going to ask you some quick questions that might reveal some fun and interesting trivia about yourselves, and you give me some quick answers. All right? Okay. When and where was the very first Lotus gig?
Evening Club, Shillong, 26th of September, 2022.
I don't remember the exact date, but
26 September
22.
I think that was the exact 26 September. It was, I think it was in 22nd September. I'm not sure the exact. Yeah, that was like the official first Lotus tour. We were promoting Dear Diary. We went down to the Northeast, and yeah, it was a very unique experience. Like
it was a bit scary because
very scary.
Colin developed a sore throat half an hour, 45 minutes before our show started, and this is the first show we're ever going to play.
Yeah.
But he managed to pull off the show without losing his voice entirely.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
Sometimes you need to go through these adrenaline fueled moments to actually sort of appreciate it later.
We hope to get there again very soon. I mean, we love the place. We love the Northeast. Hope to play there in 2026 again. Like
we did get to the band that we were performing with were like a really kick-ass act.
Yeah, Rum and Monkeys. Really cool.
I think they're from Shillong only.
Yeah, very cool act. There are some really amazing bands down.
Oh yeah, the Northeast in general is fucking goated when it comes to music.
I hope we can get to tour with them, like do something with them, and like that's
hopefully. Rum and Monkeys. That's a band you guys should definitely look out for. Not like Lotus, but yeah, it is very exciting music.
Awesome. Favorite and least favorite song from your catalog?
Favorite and least favorite song. I think our favorite is one of our upcoming songs from the new album. We've already played it live.
I don't know. My favorite is the same as yours.
It's Alive.
No, not
Alive
bad.
is my.
We should have done it on 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
But anyways, Alive. Yeah, that's. I think collectively we are really resonating with that one song.
Yeah.
Least favorite also. Let's try it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Intact. Not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad. So we have this song from Dear Diary called Intact that we are just not. We're looking for an excuse to not perform that song live. Every time we have to think about the set list and we think about which song to remove. Intact. Yeah, that's the song.
That song has got to go. It's a great song. It's a great song.
But for some reason, we are just not feeling it in the live set list. But and that can always be subject to change in future.
Absolutely.
Okay. Most underrated song from your catalog?
I think Move On is a very underrated song.
I was going to say Take a Day Off. It's an instrumental, the only instrumental that is there on Dear Diary.
Yeah.
I think that is a very underrated song.
But if you look at the catalog, you probably need to remember the old stuff like
But-
Loss of Feeling.
But that only
all
we
that,
will
yeah,
know.
but
We only put out 2 out of all the music.
replace
3
everything.
songs. 3 songs we put out of all the old stuff. Yeah. From that, if we were to personally think, there are a lot of hidden gems over there. But
Which-
from the music that we released, yeah, I think Take a Day Off would be my pick for underrated song.
I think Move On is my pick for one of our more underrated songs.
Yeah.
It's one of our most. It's a very un-Lotus like song in general, but somehow playing live also, it's like we've kind of like changed the song. It kind of has a very different vibe to it now, but yeah, it's still the same song.
Okay. Favorite and least favorite venue you've ever performed at?
Favorite would be Fandom.
A couple of Bangalore people will be surprised to hear that, by the way.
It's just the
Yeah.
way the venue is. It just feels. I mean, that's also because that is the only venue in. We've performed in Fandom and Bira Tap Room.
Yeah.
Out of the two, Fandom is
For
what I
sure,
would.
for
I can
sure.
understand, yes.
For sure. Fandom, I think Fandom and EXT, I think both are amazing.
Yeah,
venues.
EXT was also.
EXT, I
epic
think
fun.
this.
I mean, they have the best live sounding setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worst venue though, probably.
We're yet to find a worst venue. I think out of all we've played Bira Tap Room, I hope I'm not offending anybody by saying that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, good beer though. Like
Yeah.
great beer, but definitely sound wise and overall, I think Pira would definitely be in the least favorite zone.
Yeah. Out of
But,
all.
I think I don't know. I shouldn't say anybody from Pune because that would be completely contradictory. That would be contradictory to our.
Everything we've built up to it.
Yeah, we've built such a good image about Pune, and
Let's leave it at
for
that.
us to just like ruin it and destroy Pune all over again, it would not be great. I think that Guwahati venue was also like a little like, but that was. What do you think about that?
If you had to choose between Bira Tap Room and the Guwahati venue,
Yeah, the Guwahati venue. Though.
Yeah.
I think Urban Mantra.
yeah.
I think overall it was sound wise a little better. I would say.
Yeah, for me it is still Bira Tap Room.
Sorry, Veera.
Sorry,
we
Veera.
love you.
For a moment there, I thought Bira Tap Room was safe.
We love you. But yeah, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like
No
I hope you.
sponsorship for
Please,
Bira
please
for
don't.
Lotus.
Yeah, please don't take this in the wrong way. Please don't like.
Or take
Yeah.
it as we need to make a better sounding.
Yeah,
venue.
constructive criticism. Constructive criticism.
They're not going to take it constructively. We're not going to hear from Veera anytime.
Okay, moving on. Favorite and least favorite part of playing live?
Favorite and least favorite part of playing live. I don't think there is a least favorite part of playing live. I think
No,
it's.
I'm sure there is. My favorite part is seeing a positive reception, and like at the end of the set, you see like a certain sparkle on people's faces after the music you've played
Yeah.
has left some sort of an imprint on them. Yeah, that is the highlight of it. The worst part is dealing with technical issues 5 minutes before you're supposed to start.
Man, that is.
That's
something that every I think artist has to live with, and we've lived that multiple times, and it's like I think the favorite experience is to and like there is no fuck up happening or there is no technical issue, there's nothing. I think that's also like the conversely the favorite parts of a live show, bro.
you know how we worry about putting on a good show, playing correct. That is the least of our worries. Our worries is our
man.
gear working and not giving up on us halfway through,
Yeah, man.
I think that is the worst aspect. At least that is what I remember as the worst part of that Urban Mantra show.
Yeah.
Where I had mentioned this to you earlier. 5 minutes before we are supposed to start, our sound card decides to act up.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things I hate, where you are just about to get into the zone and you're not allowed to for a reason that is somewhat beyond your control. Those are the aspects I hate about performances. Yeah.
Okay. If you had to pick one song with which to introduce someone to Lotus for the very first time, which song would you pick?
I think Alive hopefully once we release it.
Out of our current catalog, I would pick Aspire.
Yeah, I think Aspire is also a great song. Aspire is
I mean,
Is the-
yeah,
is the
naturally
song,
we are
yeah.
diverting to music that we haven't released yet
Yeah.
because that is what we are vibing with right now. But out of the music we have released, I think
Yeah.
Aspire would be the business card that I would show.
yeah.
Okay, cool. If you could feature your music in any TV show or movie, which TV show or movie would you pick?
Good question.
Oh God, which movie? Like, it should be like either relatable or completely like non-relatable.
No idea.
Oh wait, I think we could probably do like a TV show.
Perhaps some sci-fi show?
Sci-fi. Yeah, probably like maybe like you think like
I'm drawing a blank, bro. I have absolutely no clue where.
yeah,
our
I think
music would fit.
we're just like so like out of place with this. I think you'd be able to
Because there's no clear. It doesn't feel like it's fitting in any bracket that movies tend to fit in.
yeah
Or TV shows. They have a general direction, right? Like a show is either a comedy or it is a drama or it is action packed. And our music has elements of each of those moods,
yeah
but it's not like it can give a soundtrack to. Like, I can't imagine Lotus being a soundtrack to an entire action packed film. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? It
Dude, I
can
think-
fit in certain sequences.
I think Lotus instrumentally would be a cool background music with like a Saas Bahu TV show or something. Maybe like the older stuff probably
Yeah.
with some like intense
Yeah, you can do the modern metal equivalent of like ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.
like you would have a breakdown and like yeah man you could definitely do that bro. Like,
That would be really cool.
क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहुत नहीं थी like or थी whatever bro like
No, but you know what movie I would pick? Are you aware of this sci-fi film called Lucy, starring
Mhm.
Scarlett Johansson?
yeah
I think I would personally
Oh
pick
wow.
Lucy.
Yeah, okay.
I think Lotus's music would work with Lucy.
Yeah, now if I
Yeah.
think about it, it could definitely work there
Yeah.
in a lot of sections. Yeah. Wow, nice one.
yeah man
Happy to help. Okay. Biggest inspiration as a musician for you guys?
biggest inspiration as a musician I think my entire band is like so inspirational like all of my band members are like inspirations like yeah I think the best place to start with is with your own band
I think for me, obviously, it is a lot of the music that we grew up to
Yeah.
over the years, the music that we have exchanged with each other. But to be able to play in a band together, to be able to get on a stage and perform,
yeah
I think a lot of the bands that around 2000, between 2005 to 2010, a lot of the local bands that were there in and around Pune,
yeah
I think they played a very big role in,
definitely.
just that want to, I want to do that.
yeah
I want to experience what they are experiencing. Bands like, some of y'all may have not heard of these names because I'm going to pull out some really old names like Pin Drop Violence. That was one of the first acts I had seen. The first concert I had been to was this Independence Rock that happened in Pune in 2005 or 2006, I can't remember. It starts with a battle of bands where you have all the names from that day from that time who would perform. Brute Force was there from
Yeah.
Pune. A bunch of other bands I can't remember. And then there was this headlining act called Pin Drop Violence, PDV. And I have never seen a show that I never knew concerts could get that intense. And the way they commanded an audience of like 5,000 people,
yeah
it blew my mind. And at that time, that it struck in my head. I want to experience what those guys just did.
Hmm.
I want to feel that, and that felt like a primary driver for me back in
Yeah.
the time. Yeah, back in those
Absolutely.
days.
Okay. Okay. If you could meet one of your musical inspirations and thank them personally for influencing you, which artist would you pick?
I think start with Ben Sharp, known as Cloud Kicker. I think definitely I'd love to meet him. Mikhail Ackerfeld.
Mikhail Eckerfeld.
I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Please don't like butcher me for that.
Yeah, I would choose Mikhail Eckerfeld
Mike.
because that is Opeth is a band that has heavily influenced
Yeah.
both of us. I think a lot of our initial music was also heavily influenced by Opeth.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wish I could. I mean, they have come and visited, and we've gone and watched their performances in India, but never had the opportunity to go and speak to them directly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is a band I wish I get the opportunity to thank them for everything they have given to
Yeah.
the world.
Wonderful. Wonderful. First rock song you ever heard?
First rock song I ever heard.
Oh, I know. I bought the soundtrack to a movie, and the first song on that soundtrack was "I Stand Alone" by Godsmack. That was the first metal song I had heard.
Classic 2000s choice.
Yeah.
It was the Scorpion King soundtrack.
Scorpion King.
Oh, wow. Okay. I personally heard it in the soundtrack of this video game called Prince of Persia Warrior Within.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very prominent in that video game. What about you?
I think Nickelback back in the day, that Spider-Man soundtrack was, I think, quite legendary for that day. And Linkin Park probably.
Right. I think that Spider-Man song you're talking about also featured the old vocalist of Saliva.
Yeah.
Saliva. Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
I think that was
Hero.
like one of the Hero. That was like the first rock song I think I heard.
Nice.
And probably Linkin Park, I think. Apart, I think, and yeah, I think that's like the introduction to rock for me.
Okay. First band or artist T-shirt you ever bought?
Oh, I know. In Flames.
Oh, nice.
That was the first. I mean, I had a bunch of bands that I wanted to get, but this was the one I saw, and I was like, I have the money, I can afford it. I'm buying it right now before this money goes off somewhere else. Yeah, In Flames. Clayman. That was the first T-shirt I bought.
Weirdly, my first band T-shirt ever was a Noiseware T-shirt, bro.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was like I think
Wow,
the
bro.
first band.
I mean, no
merchandise.
other bootleg merch T-shirt.
Probably not. Not that I remember.
Wow, dude.
Maybe I had to just like.
That's a very wholesome thing to hear.
Probably, yeah. I mean, did I? Oh, there was this one
Or
bootleg.
is it
There was
because
a
I-
bootleg.
Is it because I gave it to you for free? That's why.
No. I bought it from Red Wolf. I remember. Like back when Red Wolf was a thing, there was one bootleg Led Zeppelin T-shirt that I had. Apart from that, like
Nice.
I can't remember what was the first band T-shirt.
Nice.
Okay, let's keep it as the Noiseware answer because that is such a wholesome answer.
Yeah,
Let's
very
keep it
wholesome
that.
answer.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
felt good.
You can edit the Led Zeppelin thing out.
Okay. Dream collab you would love to do. Dream artist you would love to collaborate with.
Oh, there are
Dream
lots.
artist. Okay. Who would we collab with next? If we collab with.
Realistic or unrealistic?
Yeah, is it realistic or unrealistic?
Hey, dream artist. I mean, the
Dream
idea is for it
artist.
to be unrealistic. Yeah.
Dream
So who?
artist.
Ben Sharp, bro.
Yeah, Ben Sharp, I think. I think Ben Sharp and Mikhail. If they
In any order.
in any order. Yeah.
Okay. And lastly, dream gig you would love to attend or perform at.
Dream gig that we would love to attend or perform. I think like at least we hope to play like one of the major festivals someday. I think that's a dream. Maybe like a download or something, hopefully.
So, this
It's
is
a far-fetched dream, but
I mean, as a unit, yeah, we definitely have our list of the
Yeah.
premier festivals that we want to go and perform at.
Yeah.
But me, not just as a part of Lotus, but as a musician generally, there is this one venue I've watched a lot of performances at,
Hmm.
and I love every single concert video that I've seen from there, and that's Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah, Royal Albert.
It is a dream that I definitely wish I get to share this with Lotus. But yeah, to play the music that I have made in a prestigious venue like that, and to get it sound the way a lot of the artists I have
Yeah.
enjoyed their performances, to get it sound like that. Yeah.
I think a dream festival could also be a festival that maybe we would curate at some point. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, just I think the whole process of doing shows and making shows happen in itself, you kind of like end up being a pseudo organizer of sorts. Like,
True.
so I think if we make a few good friends and more good friends and all of us come together, it could actually do something together. God knows, like.
But yeah, for me, dream venue is Royal Albert Hall.
Okay, wonderful. Well, guys, thank you so much for
Thanks,
your
guys.
time and energy tonight.
Thank you.
And I really hope this conversation has been as interesting for me as it has been for you.
It has,
It's been a
definitely.
pleasure.
It's been a pleasure to do this, and thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And guys, we hope you enjoyed this conversation with Lotus. Check out Lotus on all streaming platforms. Follow them on all the usual social media. And if you like this podcast, like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.